I'm so sorry.
Now, if you like eating cheeseburgers as much as I do, you're destroying the environment!
يا حي الله الطيبين، طول عمركم يا الملاعب تلعبون فينا.
صليل الصوارم، نشيد الأباء، ودرب القتال طريق الحياة، فبين
You're destroying the environment!
Boom, bye bye to a soundboy head. Ruben, I promote a nasty man, the mafia dead. Giving him two dead to him chin. Enemy, your friend, fake the funk, I put the junk to an end.
Animal agriculture is the production of animal products.
What are animal products?
Cheese, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, hot dogs, cheeseburgers, halib, dijaj.
Back in the day, animal agriculture was pretty much harmless. Just dudes living on farms raising a bunch of cattle. However, ever since the rise of fast food, animal agriculture has gone industrial, and as such has become one of the major causes behind climate change. Aside from the terrible condition that the animals have to endure with so many animals crammed into one area, the effects of having so many animals crammed into one area affect our land, air, and in some cases even our waters. Now I'm gonna go over what animal agriculture does to the environment one by one, starting with deforestation. Deforestation, as the name implies, is the removal of forests for people to be able to use that land for other purposes. One of the biggest uses is animal agriculture. In the past 40 years, around 40% of Central America's forests have been cleared for animal agriculture, and it's responsible for about 90% of the Amazon's deforestation. Deforestation has many negative impacts on the environment, the most major being loss of habitat for wild animals, the majority of which live in forests. This has led to the extinction of a number of animal species. The removal of rainforests also means less trees, and as trees are an important part of the water cycle, this would lead to drier lands, which makes it harder for plants to even repopulate the land. Trees also help regulate the level of oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere, so this means that there will be a lower balance of oxygen in the air, so greenhouse gases have a greater effect on the atmosphere. As oxygen from trees would somewhat drown out the effects of gases like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. This brings me to the next point, which is greenhouse gas emissions from animal agriculture. Greenhouse gases, or GHGs, are gases that allow heat and radiation from the sun to directly enter the Earth's surface, and more importantly absorb that energy, causing it to remain in our atmosphere. The main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and tropospheric ozone. Of those gases, animal agriculture contributes to emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, around 18% of GHG emissions each year are the result of animal agriculture. This is because, unlike humans, cattle exhale not just carbon dioxide, but also methane and lower amounts of nitrous oxide. Now, when you have thousands of cows packed in an area, this means that there is a lot of greenhouse gases coming out of that area. Greenhouse gases cause the greenhouse effect, which is again the trapping of energy from the sun into the Earth's atmosphere. This happens naturally, but animal agriculture, like cars and factories, emit excess unnatural amounts of it to the atmosphere, causing unnatural warming of the atmosphere. known as global warming. Global warming causes changes in the weather, like drought or floods depending on the area, and can be devastating on wildlife, as the change in temperature can cause habitats to change, and thus plant and animal species may die out. A prime example is the melting of polar ice caps, causing the death of many penguins. The melting of the polar ice caps is also resulting in rising water levels, resulting in more floods and some islands to sink entirely, again contributing to species extinction. Animal waste is typically kept in large man-made lakes or lagoons. However, because there are so many animals producing so much waste that cannot be assimilated back into the available land, it tends to leak out into other areas. Leakage of waste is a big problem as it can affect many things. If it leaks into the waters, many fish and underwater plant species would die out. Even without leaking out, as the waste decomposes, it lets out ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is dangerous for humans to breathe in such large amounts and can lead to passing out or even death. Ammonia, on the other hand, contributes to smog. Smog inflames inner chest tissues, which could lead to chest pains, and it can also induce asthma attacks for those suffering from asthma. Plant and animal species also have a hard time breathing in the smog and may end up dying. Ozone in the smog also blocks sunlight, resulting in plants dying from not receiving enough solar energy to respirate. This again leads to lower oxygen concentrations in the air, and with smog in particular is a problem for people suffering from respiratory diseases like asthma, bronchitis, and emphysema, in addition to irritating the lungs in non-sufferers, making them more susceptible to developing breathing problems. So, with so many problems arising from the mass production of animal products, the simple answer would be to be vegan or vegetarian. However, for many people, cutting meat out of their diets is simply not an option. Where I come from, not eating meat or other animal products is completely unheard of. I think the most rational solution would be to reduce our meat consumption of this. In particular, we should really just cut out fast food from our diets completely. Fast food companies tend to be the biggest proponents of industrial farming, and fast food isn't exactly great for your health either. If many people cut out fast food, the demand for fast food will go down, and thus, industrial farms will have less demand to be producing so much meat, and would eventually lessen the number of animals they raise, and finally reduce their environmental impact. Besides, there's so many better alternatives to fast food like kebab, cozy, kebab, and kebab. So yeah, that's the first step I would take, at least. I'd stop eating fast food.
Do it! Just do it!
Thanks everybody for watching, and peace out, yo.
Ultraviolet shine blind forensics. My sentence written by all five senses. You're senseless for trying to hang with a lynchman. Battle anybody on the census. A race from existence is a race to the top. And you ain't got a shot, cause I was raised on a block. Stop a nigga on the track. Stop a nigga in his tracks. And you can check my track record low, nigga, that's a fact. Lyrical assassin. Gobbling these beats so quick. Niggas is fasting. Just imagine a cross with Christ tissues. I'm spilling passion. Of course my mic shattered into fractions. Satisfaction, got a puzzle and picking up the pieces. I'm speechless. So much talent that is leaking out my sneakers on top of the game. Y'all niggas in the bleachers. We some motherfucking sly MCs. We some motherfucking sly MCs.